but as a joke.
Oh, it was a joke, yeah.
But there was a lot of truth said in jest.
It was,
you know?
With our lips.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk about that every time.
I joke when I say I'm the best in the booth, but a lot of truth is said in jest.
Who's that?
I thought you would know.
Is it True Tone?
It's Eminem.
It's Eminem, okay.
Dude, I'd be well proud if I'd written something like that.
True.
I send you insane man, I send you deranged man.
Who's that?
So you had some good bars. There was I sort of got to get your daughter slaughtered. That was one of your horrorcore bars.
So yeah, we used to think we were rappers when we were like 13 and 14, and these are some
we were rappers.
Oh yeah. Well, we did rap, yeah. So I guess we were.
We did rap.
We also
JB and I rapped professionally.
We got paid for it.
We got paid for it.
True.
One time we gigged around all the super churches in the region.
Christian rap.
And we sold
You
that.
actually are professional rappers.
Professional Christian rappers. Ex-professional Christian rappers.
Right, that's a good claim.
And you know what we did? We used to, just full disclosure, we were like children.
Yeah.
Sort of
14 maybe. I remember wearing my best
14,
shirt to go and do that performance thing that we did.
Yeah.
And I did it once and I was like, I don't like this.
No.
Don't like this.
Yeah, it took us a bit longer for the penny to drop, I think. But we were just like more deeply.
You were really into. I remember being like, "Are you sure about all this Christian stuff?"
And you should try praying.
Yeah, I was like, you showed me videos of like people having the Holy Spirit take them over, and you're like, "Look,
that, isn't it?"
Yeah, I was like,
what do you think of that?
I'm not fully sure about that. I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah, so we were in there for a good year at least, I think, 13, 14, around that age. But
a real confusing time for any young man.
However, though, we also we can't have been that committed to it because
we also made stuff that just said horrible.
Yeah, like
stuff
the horrorcore, the gangster rap shit, and we were like, "Yeah, girl, I'll fuck you in the face."
Yeah,
and we put that on the same CD with the Christian
really
rap shit. So there's loads of was like. I remember we would gig, and then like little 10-year-old, 11-year-old girls would come over with their parents, and she'd be like, and their parents would be like, "Little Tammy really enjoyed your performance," and she'd like,
Tammy is always the name you give.
She'd like to buy us a compact disc of your work, and then we were like, "Well, that's fine, £12, please." Wow. No, it's probably like a quid.
Yeah.
And then it was like
you've made the graphics on it, and it's the start of your career.
Yeah. But the first track was always it was called like John 14:6 or whatever, and then the second track could be just like, "You better show me that tongue, bitch."
She's always hiding a tongue. She's speaking to me with her lips closed all the time.
There's probably some wordplay you could do there, like speaking in tongues, but also like jizzing on Tammy's tongue.
Wait, hold on. Hold on a sec. Tammy being the adult woman. Yeah.
Although, is it paedophilia if I'm 11 and then I shag an 11-year-old?
It's just wrong.
Is that wrong?
No, I don't know.
I'd consider that like horse fooling.
Horse fooling. Oh yeah. Well, what if Peter? Well, I don't know. Can you even do that at that age?
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not expect us to be
sexually active.
Yeah, it's possible.
11.
It is possible. Yeah.
I finger blasted a girl when I was 7 years old.
Blasted.
Yeah.
Out of the sky.
Yeah. She sent me a Valentine's card saying, I
love
you, Peter. I want to have sex with you.
Wow. Roses are red. Violets are fantastic. Please, Peter, give me a finger blasting. Was it that? Something like that.
It's pretty good.
That's not how you want to react to it.
Yeah, I was ambitious to go for a multi-syllable.
Thanks, man.
You got the first.
That's the
first
the rapper in me.
Should we have a freestyle battle?
No, definitely not.
Yeah?
No.
Nick, give us a beat.
Stand together in the ocean, held together in the morning. Forget the weather, made the sand out of snow. Sand out of snow.
No, I just kind of like thought we always have good discussions.
Is this what it's gonna?
It's just gonna be we chat about
anything. But for future episodes with other people,
there is more. There is plan. Yeah, there's plan with other people, but when
not necessary when you know each other very well.
Exactly. So you just kind of get on with the conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's been good anyway. I'll see you later.
That would be good, yeah. You are Peter Hall.
That's true.
This is Sayin Sutton podcast. Welcome. It's episode 65 now.
How deep into the episode are we? and then it's the intro. It's like when you watch a film and you're like, this is the title sequence. We've been watching it for 20 minutes.
Sometimes I do that. That's the way I do it.
No, I like it.
Like the music could kick in at any point. That would be a perfect place to have it, but it's probably played already.
So, yeah, it's too long.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So what have you done today?
It's super dull.
No, I know. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Wait.
You want it? Well, I got hammered on Saturday and Sunday, so I was sort of hungover today. I got up, I had some Weetabix, classic style Weetabix.
Right, nice.
I rubbed one out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. I typed in jogger nip slip, something like that.
Wow. See, I was really confident that how was your day, what have you been up to today would just go fine. You made me doubt it, and then you pulled out the jogger nip slip card.
Well, I mean, you know me, so if you ask how any day's gone, it's probably gonna include
masturbating.
Yeah, masturbating. And then I finished, and I felt like I didn't orgasm 100%. Like it was like I felt like there was something. I've had that
sometimes where it's like
so I tied it up, and I went again.
Yeah, just immediately.
Yeah.
Good. If there's someone else involved, it's not as it's easier to go again. But myself, I'm like, I'll save it till later, till tonight, maybe tomorrow morning.
I
Everybody masturbates.
No, because there's absolutely no pressure if there's no one there. Like I'm not putting any pressure on myself.
Okay.
And I think if I was going again, there might be some anxiety, like, oh God, what if
it fails?
What if it's not as good?
What if it's even quicker than last time?
I think for me, it's more like the intensity might be gone, because there's like a palpable lust in the air on number one.
True.
The second one, that's somewhat dissipated.
True.
If you go for number three, then
you're just playing, you just sport.
Unless sometimes I've had where, say, if you've ejaculated a couple times, is this suitable for your podcast?
I don't care what we talk about.
I didn't know who you have watching.
I don't know who I have watching either.
Yeah, but if you were like, oh, fucking Beef's mum and dad watch it, then shouts to the Henrys if they're watching, or Sutton's friends and family.
No, I don't think I know.
2 ejaculations, and then normally
go on then.
Sometimes you can, even though it starts to like have diminishing returns, by the third or the fourth, if we're pushing it a little bit, you actually click into a mode where it's like, now I'm just fully aroused for the rest of the day.
Oh, okay. You're just being the sex animal.
And it never fully goes back down to 0% full of blood, and it's just like, oh, that couch is looking shiny as fuck.
It does look pretty shiny.
I mean, I might have a bad relationship with sex, I think. Maybe.
Oh, you think, really?
Yeah, with
so I was
like
about
sexual
to
gratification.
Say the jogger nip slip thing is interesting because it's as if you're trying to really find the most, like, one of the most basic, like you've watched, in my head, you've watched too much hardcore stuff, and now you're trying to go, like real tame.
Yeah, I mean, you know that every guy that you've ever met has watched some hardcore action. But for me, it's not sort of a rejection of the, most depraved of, the types of videos that I might have seen in the past. It literally is just like, I'm well into, that's my kink, maybe, my shit. Not specifically joggers, but sort of unbidden titty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just like, oops.
Like, oh, the real life wild tit, just and then maybe so I went on that was what I started with, and obviously you get a few tabs open or whatever. Okay. I don't know what everyone I'll ask you in a minute after this, see what your typical sesh is like. But yeah, then I was looking at like, oh, someone's cleaning and they've got like a low cut top on, and they just like, and maybe it's someone that shouldn't, you shouldn't be looking, like it's a friend's girlfriend or your girlfriend's friend or some shit like that, right? And she's cleaning, but she's become aware that you can see, and she's like making sure that you can see,
because that's as soon as it becomes like in the fantasy, as soon as she's going, I want him to see, then it's okay. Yeah. Before that, it's like, I'm just a peeping Tom.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is, I can see it, but she doesn't want me to. She might be upset if I could see it. So that's like,
it becomes respectful when she's going. What do you think of that?
Yeah, but when she's like looking, and then she's like, oh, just get really.
We think that women just shake their shoulders. That's what we think they do to turn us on. But
it would work.
It would work. Yeah, it would work.
What's your standard?
So I'll either what I'll probably do is this is when I'm in like I should do that mode. Like I've just woken up and I want to just be clear-headed, or I'm just going to bed. I'm not too tired. I want to be clear-headed.
That's interesting you say. I would categorize wanks into two categories. One's where you're like horny and you're like, I need to have a wank. Oh, really? And then ones where you're like, oh, I've got some free time, or perhaps I should now because I don't want to be like wound up later.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's like you're not remotely horny.
But for a man, it's like I need to be that, and you're that. Whereas I guess it's probably not the same.
There is a third category, the dark category, which is why I said like perhaps I've got an issue where you don't want to have one, and you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm going to have one.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't really have that. I'm glad I don't have that.
Where you'll just be like on Facebook and then just like some like the most
like your
tame
your auntie's arm.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just like an advert for like there's not even a human in the picture.
Yeah, a flower just looks really erotic.
Like, oh, it's colourful.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you just go, oh,
damn it.
And then
you're wearing nice boxers that day and you're kind of scratching. You go, oh, it's smooth.
No, I'd say that's a legitimate way to get into it.
Yeah, true.
Because like then it didn't start from, oh no, you know, it started with a nice physical.
I mean, that would be more like you going like this, then you go, I might go in.
I think anything with the physical start,
right.
I can't begrudge anyone, but it's when it begins with like, just the mere thought of it pops into your mind, and then it's like, now you have to do it. It's like a compulsion.
Yeah, I must do this.
You know what I mean? Like if you see someone smoking a cigarette, then you go, oh, I kind of want a cigarette.
I've definitely had that, but I've grown out of it. But it doesn't mean that my sex drive is low. I don't think. I think that it no longer is like a crutch. When you're a teenager, it's like, I have to go and do this in the toilet of this place quick. But I think I've grown out of that a little bit. But
I think some people don't know what that's like.
What, to be like, all of a sudden they have to go and do this thing.
I remember spoken to people about that, and they're just like, what are you a fucking animal?
Yeah.
It's like wanked in like when you're not at home in your house.
Yeah.
It's like a lot, yeah.
Well, to be honest, the situation I was thinking of then was I was on a cruise when I was 15, and the cabin we were sharing was my mum, stepdad and sister. So it was just, I was 15 as well, so prime time for that, meeting lots of girls on this cruise and stuff. And I couldn't do it in the cabin, obviously, so I would go and like do it in the public toilets.
What age is this?
15.
Is this the cruise that after which you came back and was just like, oh yeah, I've been shagging all kinds of girls? Like,
oh right, is that what I said? No, it wasn't a cruise. My lie about losing my virginity wasn't some on holiday one. It was like some girl that you probably met, and I was just lied about that. Like maybe I kissed her. You
said that it was either your first time or around that time you were like, yeah, these two girls from near where
yeah,
I
I think
live,
I said I had a threesome.
Like have threesome.
Yeah.
But I think that is the way to convince a friend at that age that you've done it.
Just something outrageous.
Yeah, because you're like, you wouldn't
lie about that.
If you were gonna lie, you wouldn't like make it
I shagged
outrageous.
your mum. Wow, I think he's being serious here. Mum, what the hell?
Yeah. There was a guy that I know. I don't want to name him.
Oh right, I think I know this story.
You both know him. He lives.
Don't do that.
But he was like. Did
you just mean he lives? He's still alive.
He lives.
Like, no, he really lives.
It's Lord of the Rings, and it's like, any news of Aragorn? He lives. But this guy, he invited. It wasn't me. It was Zach round to his house. Right. So you could probably guess if he lives near to Zach.
Yeah.
And he went, yeah, just come round, mate. So like, Zach knocked on for him, and he opened the door, and it was like the door just opened, and he popped his head out, and he was like, oh, you're all right, mate. And Zach was like, what's up, are you coming out? And he was like, oh, I've just got a girl behind the door here just sucking me off. So I was like, you invited me round. And he's like, she says hello. She's
got a mouthful there. I'm just translating that. She just said hello with her eyes.
Oh, she's whispering to me that she wants me to close the door now. Off you go, Zach. It's so good, that, isn't it?
That's amazing. I bet you've definitely told me that before, but just the image of it is amazing.
Do you edit the audio on this or Nick? Because the waveform is going to go bananas where we're just laughing there.
Yeah, don't worry. I've got it outside, baby.
I'm sorry.
No, it won't, because
I think about these things.
Because I've got them turned down low enough that it's not clipping or anything.
Perfect.
Exactly.
That's
don't you worry about it.
You can always bring it up.
Yeah, true. You can always bring it up.
Can't fix peaking.
Remember, guys, you can always bring it up.
You were talking about your average sesh, though.
Yeah, so thanks for bringing us back to it. If I have to have, like, I should probably do that, clear my mind. I better do that. It's go on Pornhub, find a video that isn't
That's
at all.
you on Pornhub.
Yeah, just because it's simple. I know there's other ones, but it's just
Surprised
simple.
you knock about with Nick. Nick put me onto one. That's my shit now.
Yeah, I've been on that one before,
Not
but
into that one.
But it's just when they look more like the browser from 2000, because it does look like that. Like they care really about the content and not the user friendly. Whereas Pornhub is like a great app. If you replace the porn with other stuff, but this is a great app.
It's like the YouTube of porn.
It's the YouTube of porn, yeah. So even though YouPorn exists, RedTube, you get it right. So I don't know loads of porn websites.
X videos, X hamster.
I don't know what that one was. Ex hamster. Like we used to be a hamster, now a porn star.
But yeah, I guess I don't know.
Wow.
I've not really been on that one. Like I say, I have my one that I go on.
Oh yeah,
You
the
know
one
the
that
one,
Nick recommended. But yeah, I'll go on it, and then I'll just kind of find quite a normal
It's
video.
heavy R.
Oh no, I've
That's
seen that off.
If anyone knows what that is, that's
Yeah.
damning. If that
I've
were
heard
true.
another comedian talk about that, and that's why I know it. I've never seen it. All right. Yeah, but I'll find a video that is often like, it's never porn stars. It's more like amateur couples. Because I don't like the fakeness of it. I want to see a real couple who are like going, I want you to see this video.
In a way that creeps me out more. Just like, oh, this is actually people shagging. Like then I
But
feel...
they're playing up to the camera a little bit as well.
Sure.
But you've seen it's
I think
real.
if it's just an actress, then it's only the same as like being invested in an action film and be like, fucking hell, John Wick's really smashing these guys' heads in. You know, if it's like Adriana Chechnik or whatever, you just like, yeah. I don't know. Is it?
I'm just saying a Eastern European name. It could be a UFC fighter.
She's a good lad.
She is. But yeah, I'll try and find a video that is
No
like...
favourite porn stars then? Did you just flinch?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I was like, did I
That
flinch?
takes me back to school.
The reason I was laughing is I like took that really literally, like that takes me back to school. I was like laughing at that for some reason.
That's why you were laughing?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
abstract.
And then abstract style rather
You
than
flinching
the actual...
transported me
Exactly.
genuinely, literally back to high school.
That was why I laughed and went like this, as if like that's not going to make
No,
sense.
because in school I think I was a little bit, just it wasn't nice. And then I think I would like dig.
Yeah, it was kind of like you wanted to be top dog in our group of friends.
Yeah.
So you just kind of enforced that.
Rough
Made us fight between ourselves.
Yeah, fight
Machiavellian
for my
style.
entertainment.
Yeah.
If you want to be in the club.
Yeah, you literally used to do. If you want to be in my Matrix club where we wear trench coats and have our phone click and a thing slides out, and you wear sunglasses in school and you've got an aversion to light. I'm sorry, you can talk about whatever you want in a moment. Just throw me under the bus. But
I did have an aversion to light.
we would go to Hairbridge swimming pool, and then we get in. You go, right, you've got to fight me to be in the club, and then we'd have to fight underwater. And I'm going like, yeah, we'd kind of fake kung fu, but then I'd be getting real digs.
To a 13-year-old boy, that is. Sorry, I'm not near
okay.
the mic. Super cool.
It is pretty
Fighting
cool.
in the water.
Yeah, it was
and
cool.
then
We had a lot
club
of fun.
shit.
We did have a lot of fun. It's a fun memory. Oh God.
But yeah, so you'll go by amateur couples rather than stars.
Because it's like it's not. I know it's not really fake, and I know it's not just a lady who, that's her job.
Right.
In a way, I just want and also I feel like I don't like the kind of thing where it's an amateur thing, and it seems like maybe it's out there, and the one of the two people don't want it to out there, the whole revenge porn thing, or someone else has filmed it, or like Snapchat videos. You see them sometimes as I'm scrolling. It's like Snapchat videos of like a guy just filming like him getting sucked off in a toilet in a club somewhere. I'm like, does she know that's online? So I want to watch like
vodka eyes lolling about in her
head. So I'd rather see like
fake eyelash stuck to her cheek
and like mascara tears.
I would never wank over that. That sounds terrible.
It really know it very well. And
I quite like.
I know the song in it
about the webcam girls or whatever. You know, like or the amateur couple that's like hamming it up.
Yeah.
The nice part of it where they definitely know and they're just like performing in a way. there's something present in that's probably present in like the cleaning, you know, like down the top shot, where it's like the girl is desperate to arouse you.
Yeah.
And I think that is like in every situation with real chicks in real life, in porn, in anything, the thing that always gets me is if the girl is trying to arouse the guy.
Yeah.
So even if she's not successful, like I would literally rather, if the choice was between someone who's really attractive, really hot, but isn't interested in whether you're attracted to her, or someone that you couldn't, like, you're just not attracted to at all, but she's desperate to make you aroused, that's like strangely attractive to me. I'm just okay, you want me to bang you. I hadn't thought about it, but
because you don't want to feel like someone doesn't want to do it. That's literally all it is, really. It's not nothing more complicated than that. It's more like you want to have consent.
How do you feel then about sex work?
As in, like, what do I feel?
The hoers.
The hoers.
The prozzies.
A toot.
A toot.
What do I think about that? I think that
toot.
I think there's a place. Yeah. Because he says a pros is someone who doesn't have all the limbs. They have prosthetic limbs. Yeah. What do I think about it? I think it's a good. I think it should be. It should be legal. But obviously the sex trafficking part of it and human trafficking part.
Not the ethics of it, but whether or not you can understand wanting to sleep with one, despite that, you know, there's an ulterior motive for them. That they want money. They're not like, oh, you are well fit.
Yeah, because it's different. It's like, it's not like...
They're not a real person.
No. No. The AI ones they have in Japan, yeah, you're right. I'm just assuming.
You had a question on one of your recent podcasts about like shagging a sex doll.
Oh yeah, who asked me that?
It was anonymous, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Many of the questions were from me.
Yeah, and they were very sex oriented. Thanks for that.
They were, weren't they? I'm really coming across as like the creepiest guy ever.
We'll move on from sex
hopefully
soon.
It's just like dudes our age watching this going, someone had to say it, mate.
Yeah, because I reckon that within the first 2 minutes, any girl watching was just like, that's not for me, that one.
Oh, they're just talking about coming and shit.
But you'd be surprised at how many, like, if I go and watch some podcasts that are like Bad Friends or other ones where it's just a load of dudes talking about sex or just making silly jokes, the amount of girls that are enjoying it, like, there's definitely
they're enjoying the famous males present in the video. Definitely.
That's a very good point.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Brad Pitt could have a podcast about like pooing.
Yeah, and girls would be like,
wow, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So that's why if you're an unknown, you've really got to be interesting to at least get people.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't be doing a podcast about wanking habits.
Exactly.
And only have how many
Should we start again? 76.
Is it?
Thanks for the new subscribers. I've got a few more.
I'm glad that you've started it back up, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to get going again.
Yeah.
I felt it was inevitable. Did you feel like you genuinely weren't going to kick it back into gear?
No, I did know that I would do, yeah. But I just, I thought rather than...
Good to have a break?
Yeah, because then I can actually want to do it again. Whereas it got to a point where I was like, every time I started doing one, I would just get kind of like, towards the end, it would just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It just felt like that.
I saw
Do you know when you're in...
I would sit and watch you like going, is anyone even watching? Please comment if you're watching. And I'd go, close.
Dislike.
I do the same thing on my pod, man. I'm just like, there's people watching it, but no one's interacting with it. What?
Yeah, well, I think maybe it's like people watch on their Xbox and stuff. But if you are watching this on your Xbox now, just do me a favour. It doesn't take 2 minutes. Get it out on your phone, type in Phil Sutton. If you're enjoying the video, maybe go on Pete's
I should have done
podcast.
That for you, shouldn't I? So you didn't have to do it.
Well, what I'm going to do at some point is make you film a little like trailer for this podcast.
Like, is that legitimately you're going to do that?
Yeah.
I think I saw that on your...
The Carl's one, yeah. I'm going to do one like that.
All right, I'll do it.
We'll do that. Should we call that a little half-time break? That was the sex half, and then we'll have some other interesting stuff soon. Sweet. My name's Peter Hall, and I have my own podcast called Pretendship, something like that. Anyway, that's not important. I'm on Phil Sutton's podcast, Sayin Sutton podcast. I think that's a better name, and also I think it's just a better, it's just better altogether. So maybe made me watch it.
So I noticed in your bathroom during the break that you have carpet.
I know, right? That was one of the things when we got here. Ben went in the bathroom before I'd arrived, and he was like, the bathroom has carpet and it kind of stinks of piss from the two like sweaty Kyles that lived here before.
You won't know this, being a circumcised man, but sometimes you neither, Nick. You won't know it neither, so I'm the only one with the turtleneck in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, first thing in the morning, maybe you know, whatever, you didn't like have a piss yet, and it'll be like this. Do you have audio only?
No, it's video.
Okay, so
video.
sometimes, like that's kind of what it can look like a little bit.
Make sure you're looking at the screen, everyone.
Everyone, look at the screen.
God.
What are you doing? You just got it on in the other room, and you're like cooking or something.
Come back and look
over
at
to
the screen.
I'm doing miming
visual
uncircumcised cock. You hold this mic so that I can.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes it'll be like this, but then in the morning, sometimes it's just like off to one side a little bit. You know, it's just like it's been like, you know, it's still like you when you have the cowlick in your hair, it's got a little bit of like a cowlick foreskin action going on. Okay. And if you didn't look at your cock yet, and it should be right, you know, dead center with the piss hole, but it's just off to one side a little bit, and you didn't look at it yet. You just get your cock out and you just, you know, you go. And you get it out.
I do, yeah.
And then you start pissing, and it goes. And you go,
like,
whoa! And the piss just shoots out to the left or the right. And yeah, but it's fine. Normally, you just go whoa, and you just drag the stream quick back into the bowl. So we did. What did we do? Come in and wank.
Yeah, I was just thinking while we were doing this.
We'll go into pissing and shitting. And
yeah.
No, we'll go back to Horace and Pete that you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, true.
Beginning. Well remembered, Peter.
Well, good job. But also, do you know, even if you're circumcised, you still get the piss streams just going off in two different directions sometimes.
Is that true?
Still happens, yeah.
Perhaps a little piece of semen is
Exactly.
blocking the urethra.
Salmon blockage. Horace and Pete, when we were talking about that, the reason I wanted to bring that up is we've both watched that.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching it recently, and it's made me want to
just let your audience know what it is.
Horace and Pete is Louis C.K.'s last TV show that he did, and he like released it online to his email subscribers. Didn't tell them what it was. There was no trailer. There was no sort of promotion for it, and it arrived in the email and said, "This is a new thing I've made." He didn't really tell anyone about it, and it's about Horace and Pete, who are brothers and own a bar in Brooklyn. And the Horace and Pete, it's a 100-year-old bar, and the reason it's called Horace and Pete is because ever since 100 years ago, there was once Horace and Pete who opened the bar, and then they had a son or a nephew, and they called them Horace and Pete, and then every generation, a new Horace and Pete took over, and it's picking up from 2016, and it's a really interesting show. It's really good.
The way I like to describe it though is that it's the like shot like a sitcom. So, you know, it's like a live audience style show, but there isn't a live audience. And I like to say to people, it's like if Cheers or Frasier was realistically bleak.
And a theatre play. So you could imagine all of it on stage, but the difference is that the like multi-angle changing between. So it'll have a conversation over here, and then someone will walk in the bar and the conversation moves to them. So it's not like cutting. It's just moving across the bar.
Yeah, it could be
like a play. He wrote it with that in mind, kind of thing.
But it is very much, you know, because it's like a bar where they all hang out. Like it has the same setting.
Definitely.
Some of the same sensibilities, at least earlier on in the show. That you sort of expecting it to be one way, and then you go, oh, it completely subverts the expectation that it's going to be like, oh, everything's okay in the end, and you go, oh no, 'cause in real life, you know, Joey doesn't walk in and go, you guys, and everyone goes, ah.
It's actually like we all drifted apart, and we weren't friends anymore. Ross and Rachel had a gruesome divorce.
I feel like you watch it, you go, oh, I've never seen a show like this before, where I feel like I'm learning about real life.
Exactly.
I'm not just being further, you know, all films and TV seem to take place in this like fantasy alternate universe where things turn out a certain way, and you have a set of expectations based on how every single one goes, even if it's like, oh, but in this film, no, it's a twist, this happens. It's like, yeah, that's still the type of thing that would happen in a film though.
Exactly.
Whereas in this show, it's like, oh no, this is all the type of devastating real life action that happens.
Yeah, and it's like you never watch something happen and go, well, I saw that coming. Never. It's never like, that's the way it should go. Well, no, it is the way it should go. That's the way it would happen in real life kind of thing.
It was a popularly watched thing so we could discuss favourite bits without spoiling it for people.
Yeah, true. Well, all I would say is episode 3, I would recommend to everyone, just even
What's
out
that
of...
one?
It's the one where it's the shot of the woman... his ex-wife,
soliloquy.
Yeah, telling like a monologue kind of thing, and it's that
Real
shot
good.
for like 9 minutes.
She crushes it.
Yeah, she crushes it, man. I even thought about trying to act that bit, like learn it and then do it to camera, and it's say like he and like be, because I think that if you learn a monologue, but it's something to do with you, it's kind of easy to play that character. But if you're doing that of a racist, like the American History X speech, or you do that of a woman having this like male sexual experience, like a sexual experience with a man, and you're a straight male, then it would be like a real test of your skills to try and act or perform to a camera.
Unfortunately, although it would probably be of value to an actor to try and like inhabit that, I think you'd also have to be playing the part of that woman rather than yourself. True. Because it did feel like it was written specifically for not only a woman of her age, but like that woman specifically.
And he did say that when he was making it. He did a podcast with Matt Maron and talked about it all on that. Have you heard that one?
No.
He really goes into every single part of it, and like I would definitely recommend that if you've seen it. Yeah, you should. That's 2 things that you sold on there.
Yeah, in the break, Sutton told me about a Casey Affleck film
called Light of My Life, and whenever I tell
is that the one you made Johnny watch?
Yeah, and everyone was like, I'm not watching that, like that, and I was like, you don't understand what it's so sick.
Yeah,
but he's like kind of maybe he did that on purpose. He's like, I don't want like certain heads getting on it, so I called it something that's a bit like, what could that be?
Certain heads,
maybe certain heads.
The title of the
like
episode.
An ed, yeah, certain heads. Okay, but yeah, he has a podcast where he talks about that, and he says that one of the things was. The character of Uncle Pete, he wrote for Joe Pesci, and then he went to Joe Pesci's house and had him talk to him about the role, and he was like, no, I'm not doing it. But then he told him this thing, and then it ended up being in the script as Uncle Pete, something that Joe Pesci said to Louis C.K. that's outrageous. He then put it in the thing and got a different actor, Alan Alda. But I was watching it with Ben on the first episode, and we got to the intermission point and was like, it's well late at night, because they are like, some of them are really long episodes. Some are like half an hour, some are 50 minutes, some are 44 minutes, whatever. But this one, it got to the intermission part, and before that happened, it was just like absolute, like just burst stars walking in, like superstars. Just, oh, there's another actor that is well known. There's another like classic like legends in cinema and TV. Like, so it's a sick show, man. I really like it. It made me want to.
I feel like you suddenly became very self-conscious at the end of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, just for a moment,
yeah,
I was like, have I just been chatting absolute maca?
Yeah, I saw fear in your eye, and then you just bailed out.
I'm really glad that you noticed that. I'm really glad.
You're like, yeah, and then the stars were walking past, and it's good anyway.
Well,
I was in it.
Right, okay. Yeah, because actually, for a moment, I think
subconsciously, because my hand went from.
No, it wasn't. It's
there.
how genuinely looked interested that I was suspicious. So that's how my mind works. Is if someone looks really interested, I'm like, they're not interested in what I'm saying. There's something on my face that they're interested. They're like going, it's in his nose.
Could I kill this guy?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think they're thinking.
If things turn sour, could I kill both these guys and get out of here?
I don't think you could, man. I've got my keys here.
That's the type of, when I used to blaze the chalice on the regs, I used to just be sat there just like, oh God.
Worrying.
Thinking like, have these guys... Have they made a plan that they're going to... Have they silently just like communicated to each other in like little... like that they're going to kill me?
Do you remember that time when we were at guy Liam Winow's house? And Liam Winow... that's not his name. There's a guy we know called Liam.
Which guy?
Liam Marlin.
We were at Liam Marlin's house.
Yeah, at like his place. I'm sure it was in Manchester or Salford or something like that. And we went there. He was like... I think it was his place anyway. And it was... Like me, you, Raz, Hansen, Beef. Well, anyway, we were there. We were all chilling, right? And we ordered it. We all got super high and ordered a pizza. And when we ordered the pizza, it was just kind of awkward on the phone. Like whoever ordered it, people were laughing in the background at how high they were being on the phone. And then we had this feeling that the pizza man was getting suspicious that
Yeah.
we were, and it went from being like
Dude, all of us bought the
all
same
of us, right? So
story.
it went from being we are suspicious that they thought that was a prank call to very, very like we were all completely convinced that he was going to murder us.
Yeah.
Like we were all convinced. We
Yeah.
were like, what if he kills
Like,
us though?
they-
And we were all panicking.
They thought that we were like, because we were laughing,
Yeah.
he will be, that pizza guy, without question, without doubt, he will have thought that we're all racist.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that we're going to try and kill him when he gets here.
Yeah.
So he's
something
going
like
to
that.
beat us to the punch, and he's going to like
Mm.
glass us or like poison us or something.
Yeah. That was also the night that you pulled a whitey pretty bad, were you?
One of my only whiteys, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you went the colour green.
Solid, isn't
That
it?
was pretty good. You went like, yeah, it was not pleasant.
I
to
remember
watch.
it being an effort, a conscious, thought to continue to keep breathing.
Yeah,
and it
yeah. And
felt
I
very
remember going.
mechanical.
I remember like looking over and you going. And
Yeah.
you're like trying to figure out what
if
breathing
I
is.
just stopped, like if I just went,
Mm.
oh, I can't be bothered anymore, then I'd just die.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, but it felt like this really laborious process where I was like,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
like it felt
You
like
have to
this
solve a
huge thing.
was to breathe in. Yeah, that's
It was
amazing.
a lot.
Wow, yeah, no, I've had that kind of feeling before. Like where you're convinced that the way you're sitting, if you move any other direction, you'll probably like snap your neck and then throw up.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, I have to stay like this, otherwise.
My favorite is when you're so high. I don't know if you guys probably don't even know the high that I used to feel because you get high so frequently.
Mm.
So, for example, when you will have taken weeks off at points,
Yeah.
and then that first time you get high, you go,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
go,
goodness,
"Oh,
I
no."
forgot that it could go this high because your
Mm.
tolerance had been like so.
True.
Or just becoming
If you
accustomed
have
to
edibles,
it.
though, that helps.
Similar, yeah. Although I think it's a slightly different direction, isn't
True,
it? 'Cause the
true.
THC is a different one.
Mm.
But yeah, I used to like. Well, obviously I did used to get high all the time as
Mm.
well. But then sometimes it'd be fewer and further between, and I would, dude. Oh, it was fucking ridiculous. Like there'd be times, and it was sort of something I'd look forward to, where I wouldn't be certain whether or not I'd pissed my pants,
Yeah,
and I also couldn't tell to touch.
yeah, because
whether
you're
it was
not
wet or not.
convinced if your hands are giving you the right.
It's like, is that wet or is it not?
Yeah.
Like,
You're like the how clammy your hands are, or just the fact that your fingers no longer feel like regular skin is tricking your mind that there might be dampness in this area. Whereas if you checked, like you're comparing, is that damp? That feels quite dry. No, that feels dry. And then you
Yeah.
touch it, and you're like, now that feels damp again. Have I pissed myself just then?
yeah, and you'd be like, do I need a poo or do I just feel good? Like, and you used to say that you'd be aware
Oh,
when
yeah.
I'd become high.
Because I just hear, and I go, what the hell is that? And I look over and you're just going, and just rubbing the shit
A
out of
real
your
good
eyes.
eye rub.
Yeah. Like, oh no, you're like this. I can't really do that because I don't like things in my eyes. So, but you'd have your fingers deep in your eyes just hacking away. I'd have to like sometimes grab your wrist and go, stop that now.
Picking my nose as well was a
Oh,
real
really?
pleasure for me. Yeah, if I was high.
Mm,
Yeah, and I like picking my nose every day anyway.
yeah, to
Like,
get
I
clear.
always get yeah,
Mm.
just like scraping up inside there, getting some bogs.
We've really covered every orifice that you can.
Do you know what's so like one of my life's chief dissatisfactions is that my finger to nose ratio is not conducive to.
Like you've bigger fingers than your nostrils.
Yeah, I've got these sausage fingers and then these little girly like.
See, I do not
you
have that
see
issue.
shit, like what sort of proportion my nose is to. I've got this huge head and then this tiny
Did you say
little.
it's a huge head?
I got a big old bonce on me. Yeah,
Put this hat on.
if it fits,
If the hat fits.
then you must wear it.
While you're doing that, I'll. Oh, okay. And I feel like I have a big head.
It's super tight on my
Is
head.
it?
Yeah,
Well, you've also got hair though.
that's true. I've got hair.
I know. Yeah, I know. I keep getting people saying that to me all the time. Speaking of this,
That would
having
give me a
this hair,
migraine if I wore it for more than
Right.
a few seconds.
When I had my haircut, the guy, I sat down and I was like, right. He was like, so what you haven't done to it? And I said, right. Well, basically, pretty sure I used to have long hair and I shaved it. I'm pretty sure it's going thin on top. So I would say, I imagine that you want to make the sides shorter, like short back and sides, and then kind of thin out the parts that are thicker now.
Got you.
And then he was like, yeah, that's the plan, mate. And then he started doing it. And then he said, so what length do you want to have on the sides or whatever? And I said, well, do you think it is going thin then? And he went, I'm not going to lie, mate. Yeah, it's going a little bit thinner. But what, you're like 30? I went, no, 29. He went, oh, shit. Like he said, oh, shit, like worried.
It's pretty good for transitioning from female to male. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's perfectly normal.
Yeah. So, and then he also thought I was Dutch at one point. He's like, where's that accent from? And I was like, from like Alderson.
Where's this barber?
In Salford, and he's English as well.
An English guy from Salford has never been like,
but he's
west of Salford.
Well, I think that some people think I've got a weird accent because it's like, I've had other people say that in Manchester, because I've obviously come from a place that has a broad accent, will say stuff like her and stuff like that, or now, or out, and those words come out, but the rest of my the rest of me speakings, I just kind of try and have a regional accent. I've tried to get rid of that and use certain words that aren't as... So there's certain sentences that sound more like, where's he from? And then certain are like, oh, it's the north. But especially when I lived abroad, none of them would go, you're English. They'd guess all these other countries first.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see it. You could sort of be Spanish maybe, but the orange hat says Dutch. Orange is like...
Milk.
Dutch, yeah.
That's milk in Dutch.
What could has Nick ever been on camera?
Yeah.
Like,
I always say he could
recently.
be like Egyptian.
Yeah,
but it's just because he went to Egypt once. He went to Egypt and I went, you're Egyptian, and I've just said that for like 10 years.
Yeah, but there's no way that guy's Caucasian.
Well, Ben said before that he looks very English.
Nick looks English.
Yeah.
Well, that's false.
I'd say that's false too.
Ben the authority on people's...
Yeah, dude, knock on that door, knock on that wall, and
Is he in?
He is in, but now he's gonna come in and be like, what's going on?
Make him answer for his... No, he's not
where could you be from? We've said before, like somewhere like a Nordic type. You could probably go out of shot there. Like a Nordic place. Like you'd be shoulders.
Because I've got no dick.
That would be the best insult ever. Why lick your lips?
What are you saying, Nick? Where do I look like I'm from? No, what's your... Yeah.
Where are you saying he's from? Finland.
I feel like what throws people off is that I just look weird. You know, like I choose to have weird clothes and hair
I'm going
and shit.
what as if like...
But if I just had like a normal haircut and a shirt on, then I just look like completely English.
No, I don't think so. I think because you've got the fairer brown hair and...
Golden hair, some call it.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that, but no. Bronze, maybe bronze. Maybe it'll be silver soon, though.
COVID.
Oh, yeah, I touched your leg. We've had a test sub before we came in.
Have you talked about your attitudes? You want to show yourself up as not that into...
Not that into being...
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I have kind of talked about it, and I think that there's a certain age group that when they're not going seeing vulnerable people or elderly people, then they end up in the last month or so, people have just been gathering like in the whole bubbles and all that stuff, and they say do the distancing thing, but to be honest, it's hard to motivate yourself to do some of that stuff, like staying 2 meters apart or wearing a mask or sanitizing your hands constantly, if you don't see the results of, if you don't see it in real life. Like if someone's going to you, there's this thing going on, you're not, like I completely understand if someone, a nurse.
The risk is always in the abstract.
Exactly. You know, what is in like the fact that you don't
people
know.
Go, it's going to cause this, and you'd be like, I can imagine that hypothetically it would. There's some probability of this thing, but I feel like what you're saying is, if you're not faced with
exactly, if you're a nurse,
if
you're on the front line, as they keep saying,
this is okay.
Yeah, it just goes black sometimes, but we're just checking. And I'm not taking the piss out of frontline. I just don't like how they keep like all the new terms kind of are cringy, aren't they?
Yeah, I feel like I always I can't get on board to my own, you know, like in spite of whether or not it's you know, good to adopt certain viewpoints or like do certain things. Like I really always struggle to adopt the buzzwords and the new nomenclature.
It's because it's like, and this is the thing with the Black Lives Matter thing as well, is that when people were posting a black picture on Instagram, so I wasn't on social media at the time, but when they were doing that, I was like, I don't really like that, because I get the point of what they're saying, but I don't like when you're being told how you should deal with racism or how you should deal with the thing. Like when you go and use these words, use this thing, and it's like maybe people want to do it in their unique way, and also maybe people want to do things and then just not post it online. Like for someone,
that's my big thing. Is do whatever you like. Yeah, I don't care. Like I would prefer, the ideal for me is that everyone's sort of on a similar team towards like improvement and progress, whatever, you know what I mean. But like you can disagree over little things, and there's, you know, a lot to debate on certain topics, but I just don't think that the oh fuck, why have we gone this direction on it?
It's not that
let's wrap it up quick though, so we can go back to funny.
Okay.
I was going to say that just because I recently did this on my show,
right, okay,
and I feel like if anyone knows me from there and knows me here, I
don't think it matters too much. I realised before that I told the same story about the barbers.
Your shit tends to be funny. I'm not like a comedian though, so my shit is not funny. So like sometimes it goes.
This has all been much. You've been much funnier than me in this entire podcast. So don't worry.
Nah.
No, babe, you.
If I got any laughs, it's because you set me up.
For it. Thanks. Well, I'm the guy who kicks. I'm the assister. Anyway, I'm your sister.
The wingman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this. I was going to say, like, the feeling that it doesn't even matter if you are a nice guy or if you want something good. If you're not using, you have to use the terms, else you're not on the good team. Do you know what I mean?
So I think that the reason we've come up on this is like, we're basically just saying, I want people to know that you don't have to do activism the way that they tell you to do it. So, and I also think that there are some people who wouldn't do the things that matter, and they would just post the things online and that doesn't matter. Whereas if you're doing both, it makes sense. But like, it's better to just do the one where you're not going advertising it as you're not making it about yourself. I did this. Look at this video of me giving to a homeless person. Just give to a homeless person. That kind of thing. You don't have to.
I spoke to a black the other day.
Okay. And what did he say?
It said.
No.
I did, right. You know, like I'm going to admit my privilege, and I'm going to. Here's something that I'll admit. I thought, is this a racist thought that I'm having here?
We're really just going to leave that there. But go on. Is this... right.
But a genuine, like, a thought where I was like, oh, this is kind of... This doesn't seem okay, this thought that I'm having. Just to loop full circle back around to the first half. But I was like, I don't think I wank enough over black chicks.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm saying because I'm going... There's this whole... There's a spectrum of racism where it's like some people are hateful in this direction. I hate all these people.
Sure.
And then there's this pushback of like woke cancel culture that's made people go, should I be more inclusive? Should I do this? And it's like, I don't like the idea of treating them.
You're on the bad team if you're an ally to racists in the respect that you're sort of complicit or you're like non-committal. Do you know what I mean?
Well, in this. Right. Okay. So,
is that racist if someone's not attracted? Well, not. I wouldn't say I'm unattracted to black chicks. I was just like, whoa, I just never searched that. So then that was me doing my growth and my learning. Is I just started to put that on the menu when I was.
Okay. And did you enjoy it better?
I quite like it.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed the darker berries. Oh no.
I think it sounds like because you said berries.
The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, right?
They say. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this is weird that I never. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, yeah. But yeah, my point was going to be like that people go.
I don't like East Asian. I'm not attracted to East Asian.
As in like Filipino, or just do you mean
no?
like?
That's like Island Asian. I'm talking about like Japanese. Korean,
That sounded like I
Chinese.
have this vendetta against Filipino people.
Filipinos, innit?
Like you could have.
There can only be one Philip.
Filipino. That's my beef. Is that they share my name in the
Get off it.
and I don't know. I hate the brand Phillips too. Right.
That is weird. That like if there was a whole country, a whole culture of people just called like the Peterites.
Yeah.
And it's just like loads of like Eskimo people or something. Just like
I also hate Philadelphia
Nice.
and philanthropists.
Yes.
And the Philharmonic Orchestra really don't. I don't want them.
Landfills.
Landfills. I prefer water fills.
I'm an airfill.
Yeah,
like
I can't
East
remember what
East
we're saying.
Asians.
Right.
But the reason is not.
Is that by the way, is it okay to say the word Oriental, or is that not?
It's not the preferred term.
Why not? What is Oriental? Why is it derogatory or pejorative?
I think because it used to be. I don't know, but
Okay.
I think it's that anything that used to be the preferred term is by definition going to sort of go out of fashion.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Because we want to make
so
it
now
more
we say
like
person of color. That is,
Yeah.
I would guess, I'm going to predict that in 10, 20 years, that will be a pejorative.
yeah, and it's a
just gonna
weird one.
continue
That,
to
anyway.
be like that, because saying someone is, retarded or spastic or something used to be the medical
Exactly.
terminology
Yeah,
for it. And coloured or whatever.
yeah. Yeah,
to be.
true. Then people would say that, and then that was like the actual.
So I think, you start to it starts to, if it's the preferred term, it starts to be used.
Right. So there's no
wrongly.
like Oriental is bad because, well, it what it actually means is.
Yeah, I think it was like when we didn't. It was like poorly understood the culture in the area. And stuff, 'cause it was
okay.
like the Orient, where the
Right.
the yellows are.
Okay,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Because the Orient is that. I really am very dumb. So.
I think it's just like an archaic term for like
okay.
some part of East
Right.
Asia.
Okay then. Because sometimes when in America when they say Asian, they always seem to mean Chinese, Japanese,
But we
Korean.
mean Indian, don't we?
And we often mean Indian. So I like to say what's East Asia then? Is that
East Asian, I'd say, is like Korean, Japanese,
right? So if I said
Chinese.
they were East Asian, this is just a lesson in.
Southeast Asian, we're talking about Filipinos, Thai,
Right. But what about Bangladesh, India,
Asian,
Oh, you could
South
Asian, just
Asian.
Asian. And then Arabic
Brown
is
Asian.
Arabic is like.
Curry Asian.
Where
Can I
it
be
comes
clear
from.
though, because it's been minutes now since I said that I'm not attracted to East Asians.
Oh yeah,
but I
okay.
didn't
We should
explain
get back
why.
to it. Yeah.
Not that they're not attractive,
Mm.
perfectly attractive,
Mm.
but it reminds me of that chick that my sister went out with.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Georgina,
Yes.
who seems, although she's Caucasian,
Yeah, she seems
She
like that.
seems
Right. So that
Chinese.
makes complete sense to me. She used to make noodles all the time and like.
no, she just got like a Chinese vibe about
She
her.
has, yeah.
And now I'm like, when I see a Chinese chick, I'm like, oh, she would be attractive were it not for that.
The traumatic experience that I
Yeah,
take
she
back to.
reminds me of a
Mm.
chick that lived at my house and stole from my family.
Yeah, exactly. So if you had a dog, right, and
By the way, maybe I should just say she literally stole like lots of money from my mum and from me. No,
so that's why the traumatic
yeah,
experience.
it wasn't
It's
like a figurative. She stole from my family by going out with my sister.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that.
It's like getting a dog, one of those dogs that look like a fox. What are those dogs?
Foxes.
No. It's like a fox dog. No. There's a dog that resembles a fox. Okay, we'll sort that in a second. The battery's flashing. It's like getting a dog that looks like a fox, and they're like, why not this dog?
Pavlovian.
They're like, why not this dog? And you're going, oh well, I was bitten by a fox, and it reminds me of a fox. Is that a good analogy?
Yes.
Okay, good. And is that where we should end it?
Sure.
How long has it been? Half an hour?
If anyone would like to go and there's more wanking stories and
Mm-hmm.
pooing on occasion. I have guests from outside this sphere.
Uh-huh.
It's not some stand-ups.
Yeah, some of them.
But
You've kind of
tends
met
to
through
be
me.
the full gamut
It
of
does.
different people. Not funny.
You know, it can be funny. It's called Pretendship, and it's thematically a very good. It just to start on its lowest level, just it looks real nice. It's real entertaining to watch. It's got this theme going through it, but also you get a lot of good guests on, and you're getting better all the time at doing it, man.
Thanks, man.
No worries, man.
I'm glad that you're back on this one.
Good.
I'm going to look at the camera because it's uncomfortable in it when someone compliments you.
Yeah.
But
I kind of do this like, yeah. Women can just ring each other up and be like, "You're the best thing I've got in my life. You're my wife."
Material,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can I be?
Yeah,
you?
exactly. So they can just say that kind of stuff to each other, and they're just so open about it. Whereas men are just kind of like, yeah, I mean, like you. Nick once said to me when I was having a rough time, and it meant a lot because it's so little, but coming from Nick, who is, it doesn't show his, what's the word? Don't say penis. His
that was low hanging fruit.
It was. That's why I just threw in there. His armor.
Yeah, he's not very demonstrative with his affection.
Exactly right, and that's fine because when I was having a bad time and he said, "You're a good egg." That's all I need to say. You're a good egg.
Like if
and I've remembered it.
I would imagine if.
Did I? That's very much me.
Yeah, that's how I would imagine
crying.
if we'd had dads. I would imagine that's how it's like if your dad just goes like, "You done well today."
Yeah. Exactly. Have you seen
I've seen it all, yeah, on your recommendation.
Yeah, season 4, that happened a lot where, and that really cut me up. That every single time, every time he'd give a little motivational speech to his to Bill Burr's character Frank Murphy, the dad. His dad would give him a compliment or whatever, or some sort of show that he's proud. It would choke me up a lot because I was like, that would be cool. And he obviously didn't have that as a kid, and he's getting it when he gets older.
Do you know what's sad?
What is it?
I think my dad has like these little pangs of feeling like, oh, I want to do that. But he's just like, he's not with it at all. And like, he's not aware that is going to have no effect on me. Like, because, you know, he's just like not aware that we have no relationship at all. And he's like, I'll say I'm
as
proud of him.
As if that's going to make up for a lot of stuff.
Goes, you know, I'm proud of you. And I just go, yeah. Like, it just means nothing. Like, it does. I'm not even like, well, you know, I'll let him get what he wants. Like, it's like, he's not even going to be buzzing. Like, it literally just like was an impulse that flash. I'll do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a well thought out thing where
like
he could tell you why he's proud.
Chris, like, I love you, you know. That wouldn't change his life. He'd probably just forget about it.
Exactly, yeah. And then you could tell him a month later what happened.
He's a mental.
And mine's are dead. We have an awful ending thing on it, so this is perfect.
Do you still do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. What's that from?
It's of Family Guy. Where it's like a Family Guy. It's a character called William Bottomtooth, and he has Bamsy.
But what does he say?
Like he'll say $100.
Oh, it was something like your sister.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it a different thing?
So we should Google it and find what
That's why this is a bad ending, because like, who wants to listen to Super? Do you remember that thing? What was it? It was that. It wasn't that.
No, true. What was it? Was it actually even Family Guy? Or was it American Dad? It was The Simpsons. No. I also said that when we won't talk about that, but the fact that we talked about Max is really entertaining, to be honest.
I thought it'd be cool if I win the hearts and minds of your listener base, and then they're just like, this guy, he's just like, and I'm just like some magical crackhead at a bus stop, and then at the end I go, I also have a podcast, and then they're like, no way, I'll go and check it out.